All right, today we are digging into a planning framework that's, well, a total game changer because it flips the whole traditional process right on its head. It's called backward design, and the big idea is super simple. Start with the end in mind. You've been there, right? You've designed a course, a project, maybe a whole training program. You spent all this time gathering resources, planning activities, and then you get this nagging feeling in the back of your head. Is any of this actually working? Are people learning what I want them to learn? It's a huge frustration, and it is exactly the problem that backward design is built to solve. And this quote from Stephen Covey just nails it. It's the whole philosophy in a nutshell. Before you even think about the journey, the how, you have to be absolutely 100% clear on your destination. Why? So that every single step you take is intentional and moving you in the right direction. I mean, think about it, like you're planning a road trip. You wouldn't just throw some clothes in a bag, jump in the car, and hope you wind up somewhere awesome, right? No way. You decide first if you're going to the beach or the city. That destination, that end goal, dictates everything else: what you pack, the car you take, the route you map out. Planning for learning? It's exactly the same thing. So let's talk about how most of us do it, kind of by default. We fall into this traditional approach. We get excited about the fun stuff first, the cool activities, a great textbook we found, or some flashy new software we want to try out. And in this slide just lays out the difference perfectly. On the left, you've got traditional planning. You start with activities, and then you kind of hope it all connects back to the goal. But on the right, backward design completely flips that script. You start with the results you want, then you figure out how you'll prove those results happened, and only then do you design the activities to get there. It's a roadmap, not just a random walk through the woods. So this all boils down to a really elegant three-stage process, developed by Grant Wiggins and Jay McTighe. It's simple. 1. Identify your desired results. 2. Determine what evidence is going to prove you got those results. And 3. Plan the learning experiences. Let's break each of these down. Okay, let's dive into stage 1, identifying desired results. This is all about getting crystal clear on your destination. This is your bullseye. Before you plan a single thing, you have to nail this down. What exactly do you want your learners to be able to do when they're done? What key knowledge do they need? What skills do they have to be able to show you? And this isn't just about covering chapters in a book. It's about a specific real-world outcome. And a great way to make sure your goals aren't just fuzzy ideas is to use the SMART framework. Your goals should be specific, not vague. Measurable, so you know when you've hit the mark. Attainable, because you want to set people up for success. Relevant to the real world, and timely, so there's a clear endpoint. This is what takes you from a fuzzy goal like students will understand history to something really concrete like by Friday, students will use 3 primary sources to explain the main cause of an event. See? It forces you to be precise. All right, so your destination is locked in. Now we move to stage 2. This is where you decide, ahead of time, how you'll know your learners have actually arrived. What does success literally look like? This whole stage is about assessment, but let's think way bigger than a final test. How are you going to collect proof of understanding? What evidence will show that they have truly mastered the skills you laid out back in stage 1? You're basically becoming a detective, looking for clues that real learning has taken place. And that evidence can come in a lot of different forms. Sure, traditional quizzes are fine for checking if someone remembers key facts. But to see if they can actually apply their knowledge, that's where performance tasks come in. So, instead of a multiple-choice test on a historical event, a performance task would be something like, you're a museum curator. Design an exhibit about this event and write the justifications for the artifacts you chose. Now that shows real deep understanding. So, we have our destination, we have our proof of arrival. Now, and only now, do we actually plan the journey. Welcome to stage 3. This is where you finally get to design your lessons. Every lecture, every single activity, every reading assignment, it's all chosen for one reason, because it directly helps learners build the skills they need to create the evidence you decided on back in stage 2. There's zero wasted motion. Everything has a purpose. And when you plan this way, your lessons just become so incredibly focused. Every single piece is a deliberate step toward that end goal. You're not just throwing activities at the wall, you're building a staircase, piece by piece, to get your learners exactly where they need to go. Okay, I know this can still feel a little abstract, so let's walk through a super simple practical example to see how these 3 stages just lock together perfectly. Check this out. For stage 1, our objective is super specific. Compose a formal email. Simple.
For stage 2, the evidence is direct and obvious. They actually compose and send a correctly formatted email. So for stage 3, the activities just write themselves. You teach the rules, you show them a model, you let them practice. See how it all flows together? It's completely logical, no guesswork involved.
So, after all that, what's the big deal? What's the real payoff? Why should you go through the trouble of flipping your planning around like this? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Backward design takes your planning from just being a to-do list of random activities and it turns it into an actual, intentional roadmap for real success and genuine learning. Let's just tick off the benefits here. First, purpose. Every single thing you do has a clear why. Second, efficiency. You stop wasting time on fun activities that don't actually lead anywhere. Third, clarity. Your learners know exactly what the goal is and how they're going to be measured. And maybe most important of all, proof. You have undeniable evidence that learning actually happened. And that just about wraps up our look at backward design. You can see how powerful it is in teaching and training, but honestly, it doesn't stop there. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Whether it's your career, a side hustle, or a personal project, where else in your life could you get way better results if you just started with the destination in mind?